If you look at old Hollywood films, something feels different. The faces, the lighting, the way the stars almost seem to glow. It doesn't look real. It looks perfect. Too perfect. And for decades, people believed that glow was natural, that it came from beauty, from genetics, from something almost magical. But what if that glow wasn't natural at all? What if it came from something hidden, something the studios never wanted anyone to question? Because behind that soft, glowing skin, there was a reality most people never saw. Old Hollywood had a glow that felt almost unreal. In the 1930s and 40s, movie stars didn't just look good on screen, they looked flawless. Their skin appeared smooth, bright, almost luminous under the lights. Audiences were fascinated. People wanted to know their secrets. Was it their diet, their routines, their genetics? The truth is, it wasn't any of those things alone. At that time, Hollywood was still new, still experimenting. Studios were trying to figure out how to make actors look their best on camera. Cameras were different, film quality was limited, so they had to find ways to enhance appearance artificially. And this is where things started to change. Makeup wasn't like today. There were no strict safety regulations. No one was checking ingredients the way they do now. So companies and studios began experimenting. They created powders, creams, and products designed specifically for film. These products weren't made for long-term skin health. They were made for one thing only, to look good on camera. And they worked. Under bright lights, these products gave actors that smooth, glowing look audiences loved. But what people didn't realize was that some of these products contained harmful substances, ingredients that slowly damaged the skin over time, ingredients that created the illusion of perfection while quietly causing harm underneath. But at that moment, none of that mattered to the studios, because what mattered was the image. What mattered was what the audience saw, and as long as the glow looked perfect on screen, everything else was ignored.
But that was only the beginning. Because as Hollywood continued to grow, so did its obsession with perfection. What started as simple experimentation quickly turned into something much more controlled, much more deliberate. Studios realized that the audience wasn't just watching films, they were believing in them. And if people believed in what they saw on screen, then what they saw had to be flawless every single time. There was no room for imperfection anymore. Actors were no longer just performers, they became carefully constructed images. In those early years, filmmaking was still evolving. Cameras reacted differently to light, shadows behaved unpredictably, and film quality was limited. Skin tones could appear uneven, and even the smallest imperfection could stand out in ways that didn't happen in real life. So instead of adjusting the technology, Hollywood adjusted the people in front of it. And that's where makeup became something entirely different. It was no longer just about enhancing beauty, it became a tool to control how reality appeared on screen. Studios began working with makeup artists, chemists, and specialists to create formulas designed specifically for film. These weren't products made for everyday use. They were experimental, designed to behave under intense lighting, to reflect light in specific ways, and to hide anything that could break the illusion of perfection. Ingredients were chosen carefully, but not for safety. They were chosen for effect. Substances like heavy mineral oils, thick waxes, zinc compounds, and sometimes even lead-based elements were used because they created a surface that looked smooth and even under harsh lighting. These substances could reflect light in a way that made skin appear almost flawless, almost glowing. And when combined with the lighting of that era, the result was something audiences had never seen before. On screen, it looked magical. Skin appeared soft, luminous, almost unreal. It created a kind of beauty that didn't exist naturally, but felt believable because people wanted to believe it. And slowly, that image became the standard. Not just in Hollywood, but everywhere. But behind the scenes, the experience was very different. These products were thick, heavy, and often uncomfortable to wear for long periods. They weren't designed with comfort in mind. They were designed to stay in place under heat, to maintain consistency under lights, and to perform reliably for the camera. Actors would wear layers of these products, sometimes reapplying them multiple times throughout the day, building up a surface that looked perfect on film, but felt anything but natural. And over time, the effects began to show. Skin would become irritated, dry, sensitive, breakouts would appear. But these weren't issues that could be openly discussed, because in Hollywood, the image came first. Always. Actors didn't have control over how they presented themselves. Their appearance was part of their contract. Studios invested heavily in creating stars, and once that image was established, it had to be protected at all costs. If there were problems behind the scenes, they were kept hidden, because the audience wasn't meant to see reality. They were meant to see perfection. And then there was the lighting, something that played an equally important role in creating this illusion. Early film sets relied on powerful arc lights that were necessary for filming, but intensely hot. These lights produced a level of brightness that modern lighting doesn't replicate in the same way. But with that brightness came heat, a lot of it. These lights could become uncomfortably hot within minutes, and actors would spend hours under them, sitting in place, maintaining the same posture, wearing heavy layers of makeup that reacted under the heat. The combination of light and chemicals created that signature glow audiences loved. It softened features, blended textures, and created a look that felt smooth and almost perfect. But what looked effortless on screen required endurance behind the scenes. Imagine sitting under those lights for hours, unable to move freely, knowing that every small movement could affect the shot. The heat building around you, the makeup reacting on your skin, the pressure to remain perfect from one take to the next. It wasn't just physically demanding, it required constant focus. And yet, none of that was visible to the audience, because everything was designed to hide it. Hollywood understood something very important. Perception mattered more than reality. If the audience believed in what they were seeing, then the illusion was successful. And over time, that illusion became stronger, more refined, more convincing. People didn't just watch these films, they admired them, they studied them, they tried to recreate what they saw. The glowing skin, the flawless appearance, the effortless beauty, it became something people wanted to achieve in their own lives. But what they didn't realize is that what they were trying to recreate wasn't real. It was the result of a system, a carefully controlled combination of lighting, makeup, and direction that worked together to create something that felt natural, but wasn't. And the more convincing the illusion became, the harder it was to question it. Because when something looks perfect, people don't always ask how it was created. They simply accept it. And that's what made old Hollywood so powerful. Not just the films themselves, but the ability to shape perception, to define what beauty looked like, to create a standard that people would follow without realizing how it was formed. And even today, that influence hasn't disappeared. It has evolved. The tools are different, the platforms are different, but the idea of perfection is still present. The expectation to look a certain way, to present a certain image, to maintain something that may not fully reflect reality, it still exists.
And if you think this only applied to unknown actors, it didn't. Even the biggest stars in Hollywood experienced this. Marilyn Monroe, for example, wasn't just naturally perfect the way people believed. Her image, her glow, the way she appeared on screen, it was carefully designed, just like many others in that era. But what made her story different was how deeply it affected her behind the scenes. Because maintaining that image wasn't easy. It required constant pressure, constant control, and constant expectation to always look a certain way. And over time, that starts to change a person, not just physically, but mentally too. And honestly, there's a side of Marilyn Monroe's story most people never hear about, the part behind the image. I've put it in my bio if you want to see it. What makes this even more interesting is how people today still try to recreate that same Hollywood glow. But now we know it wasn't just beauty. It was lighting, makeup, pressure, and sometimes even harmful methods that created that effect. And yet the illusion was so strong that it shaped beauty standards for generations.